I'm just going to go over light mapping large scenes because there's some unique problems that can come up, and I wanted to give people information about the best approach. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is question whether you even need baked lighting in a large scene. So baked lighting is going to give you indirect shadows and shading. This scene here is baked, but if I go over to this scene's not baked. So you can see all the detailed shadowing, ambient occlusion that's lost when you don't have baked lighting in a scene. If you look at this demo I have here, here you can see the more prominent differences between using baked lighting and then real-time lighting, although this is actually using mixed lighting because the directional light here, if I turn it off, you can see that the shadows are gone, but the indirect lighting is still here. So essentially, when using mixed lighting, the direct lighting, the first shadow that's cast from the sun or whatever light source you have, is real time, but all the other indirect lighting, so sun hits this surface here and then bounces off in this direction, that is done on your own computer. So even though I can adjust the sun position, the indirect lighting doesn't change. So if you're using mixed lighting, you actually can't really adjust the position of the light. You'd have to use fully real-time lighting to do that. Also, the shadows that are cast by dynamic objects will be the same color as the indirect lighting here. You see here the shadow for the real-time lighting is a lot less dark than the shadow for the baked lighting. In addition, you can also have light probes, obviously, and then the dynamic objects can be lit through a combination of both dynamic shadows and then static light probes to be appropriately lit in the scene. Say you have just like a scene that's just a big open field, you're probably not going to get any of the advantages that you would get with baked lighting if you don't have many shadows to speak of, because then your shadows are you're probably just going to look the same color, and if you bake lighting, that's going to take up extra space for light maps, increase the download size of your world, and you're not really going to get much benefit from that. So that's the biggest consideration. Then the other consideration is how many lights you have in your scene. So for example, with this scene, with one light, if you just have like 1 or 2 or 3 lights, then it's not as much of a problem for you to have real-time lighting in your scene compared to having many lights in a scene. A correction that I should have made in the video is that it not only depends on the Unity render pipeline, and not only does it depend on the platform, but it also depends on the application and the quality settings that said application is using. For VRChat, the VRC Ultra and VRC High quality settings have a maximum pixel light count of 8, and the medium and low and mobile settings have a maximum pixel light count of 4. Also note that shadows are disabled on Quest, so they just won't render at all. If you want to know what the pixel lights are, you can see here. You can look up the difference between pixel and vertex lights, which I won't get into. If you see this scene that I have here, I obviously have a lot of lights. So, having every single light here being real time obviously wasn't an option. This I would consider more of like a medium large scene. So it's small enough where I can still set the texels per unit to about 16. That's the big thing, is that the larger your scene gets, and if you're still going to have baked lighting, the lower your texel density should be. Here in this cave environment, the lighting, I set the texel density to 5. So yeah, that's pretty low. But it was okay because there aren't any like sharp shadows. It's fine for the shadows in this scene be very diffused and very soft. And honestly, it fits with the mood of the scene. There's the accurate light map resolution. You've just watched a preview of October's patron-exclusive tutorial. If you'd like to get the full version of this and my other patron-exclusive tutorials, or if you just want to support me for making free tutorials available to everyone, consider subscribing. A huge thank you to all of my patrons. Thanks to all of you, I will be able to build a new, even more powerful PC suitable for high-end VR game development.